Well, hey guys, I know it's been a few weeks. Christmas, New Year's, exams. I'm not a student, but I have to correct a bunch. So I've been doing some filming, doing some driving, and one thing I've driven quite a few times, and I actually haven't filmed, haven't even talked about, I think I showed it in one video, is my Traxxas Maxx. So I want to talk about it today because I figure after about 6 months, I think I've had it 6 months, I think I have enough insight to do a review. I'll just set this one over here to the side for a moment. My low seat, and we'll get the Maxx out. My goodness, this is a heavy beast. It's a heavy one. So I run a lot of Tamiyas and different brands, and I like to build kits. Actually, I do have like my Armor and Fraction. I have a few ready to runs. My Mad Van from Kyosho and such. My Losi LMT. I guess I got quite a few. So I got this Maxx. I was gonna get the X Max. I just don't have enough room, and I realized I don't really have enough room for this one. This one's actually quite a big, hefty truck. So I got it about 6 months ago. It's not the version 2 that just came out. It's like that much longer. It's version 1, but it's not that old. It's quite new. So I'm just going to get this up onto the workbench because I'm tired of holding it. Alright, so this is a little bit better view. So here's my Maxx. A little bit dusty. A little bit dirty. As I said, I've had it about 6 months, and it's a really fun truck. I don't know if it's worth the money, to be honest. Traxxas, they're expensive everywhere, but they're really expensive here in China. I'm just going to flip off my Sunburst limited edition shell. I did try to protect it somewhat, and I made a bit of a mistake. I have like this epoxy resin, and I put down this heavy 3M tape, and what started to happen was the tape separated after I put the epoxy on, and I put in some fiberglass pieces. It is pretty stiff. It did make it a bit heavier, but the tape did pull away, and you can see in there it took the paint with it. So when the tape pulled away, the paint went with it. So I can't actually separate it and take it apart, or it'll look like crap. So I guess we're stuck with it like that. Kind of wish I did. I've done several trucks in different ways. I kind of wish I'd done what I've done with the other trucks, like with my LMT. Haven't had that problem. Now, I've bashed this pretty hard, so there's like a massive dent in the window. A few little issues. It does run quite well. I did have to do some upgrades immediately after buying it. I did buy plates, steel plates to protect the body, or the chassis. And there's heavy ones on the front and back, and I run it a couple times and they bent, even though they were really heavy, so I took those off. I did leave these two plates, or 3 plates, one on each side, one in the middle, and that's pretty light, and it does protect the chassis. I think it looks good. It says Traxxas on it, just some Chinese brand. But one thing I did upgrade, both front and back, is I bought the Traxxas aluminum hub carriers and hubs, I guess. So orange and blue in there. Because I've had some bending and then the drive shaft getting jammed and some things, so I thought, yeah, I'll do those upgrades. Expensive. Most people buy these and then they put the Wide Max kit on. I think the new version 2.0, and correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but I think the new version 2.0 actually comes with the Wide Max kit. But if you have the older one and you don't want to spend a ton of money on new plastic parts, I plan to do that when these eventually break. But these arms have been running pretty well, so I don't think they're breaking anytime soon. But one thing I did was put proper 17mm hexes on, and they're actually extended about 10-15 millimeters on either side. So this truck is wider than a standard Max. On a standard Max, you wouldn't see like this part here. You wouldn't see that orange sticking out. That'll actually be inside the tire. So it is a bit wider because I put those axle extenders on, proper 17mm. And it does run better than stock out of the box. So even though it's only about, I think it's half as wide, like I think the extension is half as much as the Wide Max kit, or 3/4 as much. It's just a little bit wider than stock. I think it's 10 millimeters either side, so about 20. It does run better. It tends to stay on its wheels better, so that's good. So I put those upgrades on, I made it a little bit wider. Other than that, I've not done anything. I've had no issues with the servo. I have had an issue with this fan on the ESC just not working, and it might have been because I got some water in it. I'm not sure. But that cut out, and it was a hot day, and then the thing started overheating. That's the only issue. Other than that, I've had no problems with it. It is a hefty truck. I think I'd recommend this to anyone that just wants to go bash, do ramps, go to a skate park. That this is the truck to go with. Other trucks won't stand up as well as this. But as a general, like I wanna go in the dirt and I wanna have a bunch of fun with my rig and play without hardcore bashing. I don't know if this is actually the best, well, it is a very good truck. I don't know if it's the best thing for your money, to be honest. So you saw earlier, oh, this body, this ingenious body mount, it's not as easy as it should be. Alright. Go forward. There we go. For the money, this is about maybe $800. I'm not sure what it is in dollars. It's quite a few Chinese dollars. I think it's probably about 1,000 Canadian, especially with the upgrades. So I find it quite expensive. Now, you've seen this on the channel before. My Losi Bahare 2.0. Now, this truck, if you actually look at it there, it's actually got a longer wheelbase than the Max. It's quite a bit lighter, maybe half as much weight. It is very fun to drive. Run it on 3S. I run the Max on 4S. I'd say this one is just as quick. It goes just as fast. Because it's a desert racer, it has its own quirky problems with steering and rolling over and such if you go fast in the corners. But for the money, this truck is only probably about 70%, 65% the cost of this one. So having said that, like, you can save quite a bit of money. If you want a big vehicle to run and bash, this is a good one. I've not broken anything on it. I do have a couple upgrades, like upgraded the rear swing arms, carbon and aluminum. That's about it. There hasn't been much else done to this truck. Some body strengthening, so the body's a little bit thin. But in the video, because we're going to finally show some running footage of my Max. Actually went with my buddy and we drove both trucks. So you'll actually see both of them in the video. It's always fun to drive with someone. And it's always fun to have more than one car to play with. So, Traxxas Maxx, should you buy it? Yes, if you have a lot of money and you have quite a bit of space. I'd go for it. It's a totally cool vehicle. It's not scale in any way. It's not a solid axle monster truck. It's just a normal monster truck. I think they're super fun. I don't know if they're worth the money. Oh, one other thing. The controller. Where have I put that? Man, sometimes it's hard to find things. You get too many controllers. The thing I wanted to say about the controller. It's not my favorite. I find that the wheel's too close. On the Traxxas controllers, I much prefer the Spectrum ones, or even the Kyosho ones for RTR. So I have this little mount here I bought for my phone because I put in the Traxxas link, and I must say it was quite expensive. In US money, maybe like $50–$60 for a Bluetooth hookup, and this, it's like 20 bucks. So it's quite you can buy RC cars for as much as a Traxxas link and the holder for the phone. I did find when I used it that I didn't want to watch it, so I screen recorded some of it. I might throw it in the video. It's not really that interesting. It does work, so I got my speedometer and everything. But just the thing about Traxxas, so like the aluminum costs a lot. If you want to buy a new body, it costs you like probably $80. Stuff is dear. It's a lot of money compared to Horizon if you're buying things for, say, Losi or Arma. So I actually do prefer their Dx3 controller. This is for my Arma. I have to label them because I have a few. I do prefer these, and these also come, you can also do Bluetooth, run it to the phone. And the thing is I bought, for the same price as setting up one Traxxas controller, I got, for the same price as setting up one Traxxas controller, I got 3 Spectrum Bluetooth modules. Turn that around. I got 3. And also a thing to hold your phone on the controller. So, generally speaking, just for that piece, it cost me 3 times as much, more or less. And these modules are actually, they do the exact same job, and they're smaller. So, they give you the telemetry. Smaller, do the exact same job, 3 for the price of one Traxxas. Now they come in bags instead of a nice little box, but that's the only difference. And the phone holder seems simpler. I only bought one, even though I have several controllers, because I figure I can attach that and unattach it. So maybe we'll see that in upcoming videos. I gotta throw those in. I think they go on the bottom. Gotta throw those in my Spectrums, one for each, and that way whichever vehicle I'm using, I can throw this on and see the telemetry. So that's one thing. Traxxas is quite a bit of money for anything you want to upgrade or any parts. Now the upgrade parts are amazingly good quality, very nice aluminum. My axle extenders are not Traxxas because I didn't want to pay like 40 bucks for those. There's some random brand, but kind of expensive. I think if I could go back and buy a truck after driving this, I think I'd probably go with the Wrestler 4x4. Just because of the environment I drive in. I don't have skate parks. I don't have a place to really bash this. And the Wrestler 4x4 is lighter and faster. And I think that would actually be more fun. So if I actually get another Traxxas, I'll probably go with a Wrestler 4x4. I won't be getting the extended max centimeter. It's not worth the money. So, great truck. I think for my purposes, it's a little too hardcore. It is quite fast. It is really fun. And if you want one, buy one. Now, we'll take a look at some video. As I said, my Losi Bahare 2.0 is in it. So is the Max. Just screwing around, driving around the yard, having some fun, but you'll finally get to see my Max, my huge Max in action. So hopefully you enjoy it. Get rid of some dog shit. speedometer working. You can get serious power. Oh, sorry.